Hello and welcome to today's practice. Today we're going to be focusing on yin postures. So you'll definitely want to have some props with you for this practice. One prop to definitely have is some kind of strap, a tie, a belt, something like that. A blanket of any kind will do, and potentially a chair as well. Especially in the beginning of all these classes, you're always welcome to sit on a chair. Sitting down on the ground, while you might see most yoga practices start that way, it's quite a challenging pose. So give yourself a break, take a little space, and use the chair. You might want some other things like a pillow, and something a little harder. So these are yoga blocks, something a little harder, and a blanket and some pillows might do for that as well. So while you're getting yourself settled in, grab the things you need. We'll start with a little sound vibration to help tune us and focus us. So taking this time to grab the props that you'll need for practice today, maybe having a little tea with you as well. And as you do find yourself settling in, come to find your seat, whether it's down on the ground, sitting up on some props, or it's in that chair. And once you do find your seat, sit nice and tall through the spine, lift the vertebrae, and then allow everything else around the spine to soften down with gravity. Begin to focus in on the vibration of the Shruti. Well, again, welcome to practice today. My name is Irene. I'm very happy that you're joining me for this. Today's practice is a part 2 of a 3-part series that I'm calling Expanding the Breath. So in part 1, we looked at how the breath is a way to synchronize mind and body so that we are moving and living and reacting to life as one coherent unit. Today, this practice, we're going to look at our breath as a way to respond to sensations, including the uncomfortable ones, instead of allowing the mind to react from an emotional standpoint. So oftentimes in life, we tend to have this like knee-jerk reaction to things. We hear something, we see something, and we just have this knee-jerk reaction. An emotion is triggered in us, and that triggers the mind to just react. And this kind of reaction is actually creates more discomfort than the discomfort of that thing or that person that we so quickly reacted to. And one of the things that I love about an asana practice, using our body to find stability, to find calm, steadiness, that we can, however we work with our body within the poses on the mat is going to be a direct relationship to how we work with our life, how we work with the things that we come in contact with. So what would it look like if we started to use our breath first, right? So instead of allowing the mind to trigger so fast, instead of allowing the emotion to trigger the mind so fast, we slow it down and we use a breath. Now, when it comes to asana on the mat in our practice today, for me, there's no better physical asana practice than yin to really help us explore this, because we'll stay in postures for a few minutes and it might get uncomfortable in there. Can we practice breathing with the sensations we feel in our body? Can we practice breathing as a response to the posture and what it feels like for us? And that is then going to transfer into our life when we're off of the mat. When you see something, when you hear something, when you're triggered by that same person again, instead of that knee-jerk default reaction of the mind and the emotions, instead, maybe we'll be able to take a breath. And out there in the world, one breath can go really, really far. For this practice, we have many, many breaths to attempt this and to learn how to do this. So the first move we're going to make is we're just going to kind of loosen up the arms a little bit. So I'm sitting with my ankles crossed and I'm going to shift into a hero's pose. So let's do that first. Now, a hero's pose can be a pretty wild one for the knee joints and the ankle joints. So the idea is that we can find some steadiness and some kind of comfort, meaning we still have access to the breath. So if this posture does not work for you, then this is the ideal time to sit up in the chair or sit up maybe on your coffee table, something a little higher. We're also going to want that strap for this posture. So do have that strap handy for yourself. I'm going to take the block. I'm going to bring my knees together but open my feet wider, and I'm going to place the block in between my heels, and then I'll bring my ankles in to meet the block. Now you can add as many blocks as you need. And again, the chair is the perfect place for this. So sitting with our hips on some support, the ankles are right next to us. So feet are off to the side, but the ankles are not turned out. We're laying on the top of the feet. Now this can be a lot for the ankle joints. So you might even have 2 small towels. It might be nice to keep 2 little washcloths or hand towels tied up with some rubber bands, and that might work nicely underneath your ankles for you. We're going to take our strap and place it over the right shoulder. We'll take a nice big inhale up, and then bend the elbow and take a hold of the strap wherever it is. The left arm is going to reach out to the side, and we're going to reach behind and take a hold of the strap. Okay? So essentially this right elbow is moving in towards the head and up towards the sky. We don't need to choke up on the strap too much. This is not about going to our deepest expression with this arm position. So even if you're someone who is not used to using a strap, because maybe you can interlace your fingers relatively easily here. Try taking the strap. Just try taking the strap for this one. See how that goes. Sit up nice and tall. And allow the eyes to soften down. Begin to find your breath. And don't do too much with the breath. Just start to notice it. And notice all the different sensations that you feel in your body. Scan through the body with your mind and check in with the sensations. Notice them. Don't do anything to try to change them. Allow them to be present. And instead of the mind jumping, respond with the breath. Offer your sensations, your body, the breath. And take 3 more breaths here. 3 final breaths. Deepen these breaths. Make them a little bigger, a little fuller. And the final breath, a cleansing one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as that cleansing breath happens, let the hands slide down from the strap and let the arms hang for a moment. And we'll take our strap and then move it over to the left shoulder. Reach that left arm up towards the sky, bend the elbow. Take a hold of the strap wherever you can reach it. Right arm will come out to the side. Turn that thumb down as we sweep it around, finding the strap. Again, not going to our edge at all with this posture. Just enough to find sensation. We're really easing our way into the practice today, into this concept of responding with our breath instead of emotion and thought. This left elbow is working its way towards the head and up towards the sky. Checking in and noticing all the different sensations you feel on this side. Not to label them, not to categorize them or go into a story around the sensation, just to notice them. And then breathe. These sensations that we feel in our body are our body's way of communicating to us. Our body is so outrageously intelligent. It has an intelligence far beyond our mind and our thoughts. And the sensations are how our body tries to communicate with us. And with this practice, we learn to listen to the body, responding with our breath. Respond to the sensation you experience with breath. As the sensation changes for you, stay steady and consistent in responding with the breath. Soften the face. Soften the belly. Taking our final 3 breaths here. Deepen these breaths. Expand the breath. And the last breath, a cleansing one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Slowly let the hand slide down the strap. Place the strap off to the side now and rest with the arms hanging down by the sides. Continue to lift tall through the spine. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Another deep breath in. This time, hold the breath in at the top. Open mouth, exhale. One more big breath in. Fill yourself up. Hold the breath in for a moment. Then sip in a little more breath. Exhale. Release and empty. Relax the chin down towards the chest and bring palms together at heart center. Gently press the palms and all the fingertips together and let the elbows lift and reach out to the sides. Very active in our arms. Anjali Mudra. This mudra is the hand gesture that physically and energetically brings us back into our own center. When we reside in our center, we have access to the breath and using it as a response to our life, as our first response to life. Take a moment and honor this collective intention for practice today. I will practice responding with my breath, both on the mat and in life. And now hold in your heart center and your mind's eye all the great yogis and sages of ancient and present India. All those who have listened and heard these teachings and then carried them throughout the ages to then share them with us so that we may find our way back into our own center. May the sacred South Asian practice of yoga guide us back to our roots, our ancestors, and help us to find our place of belonging in this world. Another deep breath in, filling yourself up. Open mouth, exhale. Stretch those arms out to the sides. And then we're going to do a little cat-cow. So open up the front of the chest and roll those palms up. Maybe the elbows even bend a little bit. As we exhale, curl the spine like cat. Tuck the tailbone, chin to chest, and roll the arms in. You really see a lot of movement in the hands, but make a lot of movement happen from the shoulders as much as you can. Inhale, open the front of the body, palms up. Exhale, open the back of the body, palms back and down. Let a few of these. Inhale, opening. Exhale, opening. And with that next inhale, lift up tall through the spine and just kind of rock and twist through the arms and the shoulders. And then take the hands, interlace the hands, and create figure eights with the wrists, whichever direction is instinctually easy for you. And then try to reverse that. Nice little trip for the nervous system. All right, and then shake out the hands. We're going to come into a tabletop position. Maybe placing a blanket underneath your knees if you have a hard surface underneath you. Palms, base of the palms, underneath the wrists. Spread the fingers, not too much, not too little. And then just begin with some organic movements. So organic movement is anything that is calling to you. Go nice and slow. And let the breath be active and awake while we do this. There's no specific breath pattern or breath rhythm to take here. So give it a little extra attention. Make sure it's still present. Anything that feels good for you in your body. Right? So organic movement isn't about taking instruction from someone else. It's about taking guidance from our own body and from the sensations we feel. Okay, and then coming back up to a tabletop position. Well, let's move this out of the way. Okay, coming back up to a tabletop position, we're going to do a little thread the needle flow. So I like to take my knees just a little bit wider for this. Ground down through this right hand. And as we inhale, we're going to open up the left arm up to the sky and twist the torso open to the sky as well. As we exhale, thread that arm through. You don't have to come all the way down, but we want to reach as far as we can. And then pull the belly up as we inhale, open back up to the sky. As we exhale, use that belly to twist and reach. Good. Inhale, opening. Exhale, twisting. Well, we're going to do 2 more of these. Just bringing a little flow into the body before we settle into our yin posture. Last one, inhale, open up. This time, exhale, sit the hips back towards the heels. This is a nice place to put a blanket. This is a child's pose that we have our lower body in. So offer yourself a little blanket between the back of the legs. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to thread again, come to rest on this left arm and the side of the left head. Now, you might simply take that right hand, bend the elbow, and let the side of your temple rest on the hand. You might take a block and use a larger prop for that. Or the head might rest on the ground. So you can place the palms together, back in that Anjali Mudra. Line up the base of the palms. If you're not using the hand under the head or for stability, next to the head. Let that right elbow lift up towards the sky. And we're here in our yin pose. Take a moment and notice the sensations that you feel. Notice how the body is communicating with you in this moment because you've taken the shape. And then allow the breath, your breath, to be the first response. Practice the breath being the only response. And to help that happen, let's synchronize our mind with the breath into the body with the mantra So Hum. Inhale So, exhale Hum. So Hum translates to I am. You can also chant in English, I am, with each breath. So Hum. Synchronizing our mind into our body through the breath. Each cycle of breath, each repetition of the mantra, teaching us how to respond from a calm, centered place. And we'll take our final 3 breaths here. Deepen these breaths, stretch the breaths a little bigger. And that final breath, a cleansing one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Now we're going to shift right into our next yin posture. From here, it's not a whole lot of movement to make. We'll take our right hand and ground it down on the floor and lift the torso a little bit. If you used a block under the side of the head, remove that. Bend that right arm and come to rest with your forehead on that right wrist. So the left arm is still underneath us, but we're no longer twisting. We're just resting on this back side of the arm. Checking back in with sensation. And maybe noticing how quick our mind is to respond to what we feel. And replace that thought with a breath. Replace the thought with the mantra, so hum. And taking our final 3 breaths here. Stretching these breaths a little deeper. The final breath, a cleansing one. Before moving, pull that navel center up towards the spine. Pull the belly up and gently press into that right hand to lift up. Come to sit up, bring the knees in towards each other, and come to stand up on the knees. We'll gently interlace the hands behind the back and lift the chest to the sky. Gently press the pelvis to the front. And then as we exhale, bow down. Don't go all the way. Let this be more about the spine and the shoulders. Root through the shins. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, folding, bowing down. Add a few more of these. Inhale, lifting, press the pelvis forward. Give the glutes, the buttocks a good squeeze. Exhale, bowing. One more. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, bowing. And we'll inhale, lift up one more time. Press the pelvis forward and release the arms. I will come back into our tabletop position. And now grounding down through the left arm and the left hand, sweep that right arm up towards the sky, opening and twisting the chest up towards the sky. As we exhale, thread, twist and reach that arm through. Inhale, pull the belly back, open up to the sky. Exhale, use the belly to twist. Add a few more of these. Inhale, opening. Moving nice and slow, as gently as we can. And we'll take one more. Inhale, open up. This time, we'll sit the hips back. Open the knees up again, so we're back in that child's pose in our lower body. We'll twist that right arm through, and we're going to rest in our twist here. So again, this left hand can simply turn and support the side of our head, right about at our temple. We might place a block under the head. The hand can stay grounded next to the head. That might feel a little more balancing. Maybe we can bring the palms together for Anjali Mudra, that centering hand position. And once you've found your shape, notice the sensations. Notice the sensations, and then respond to those sensations with your breath. Let the breath and the sensations have a conversation together. So it's not just your body getting louder and louder, trying to tell you something, and our distractions getting louder and louder so we don't have to hear it. But instead, meet the sensation. Meet it with your breath. And to help meet the sensations with our breath, bring the mind into the practice with so hum. With each breath, so hum, I am. Allowing the body to soften. Allowing our reaction to soften with the breath. Feel sensation. Respond with the breath. And we'll take our final 3 breaths here. Deepen the breaths. Stretch them a little bigger. And that final breath, a cleansing one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll take that left hand rooted into the floor, lift up just enough. We'll move any props that we had under the head and turn, bring the torso out of the twist. So we're just laying on the arm now, on the back side of the arm. Left hand can bend, and we can rest the forehead on the wrist. Responding with our breath, rhythmically moving our mind with the breath. So hum. With each breath, so hum. Become soft, even with sensation, uncomfortable sensation, intense sensation. Soften with the breath. And we'll take our final 3 here. Deepening these breaths, stretch them a little bigger. And complete with a cleansing breath. Pull the navel center up towards the spine. Gently press into the left arm and unwind yourself. Again, bring the knees in towards each other and come to stand up on the knees. Let's just stand up on the knees for a moment. You may tuck the toes underneath you. That might feel a little more stabilizing for balance. And let's bring our palms together at heart center. Lifting the heart, bowing the head. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. I'd release those hands down. We're going to come onto our back now. So this is where, well, actually, before we come down onto our back, let's get our one of our blankets set up. So you're going to take a blanket and fold it, and then roll it. Now, this is going to be not for our very next pose, but for one coming up soon. It's going to be for a pretty big back bend. So however big you make this, the bigger you make your roll, the deeper your back bend will be. Just keep that in mind. And of course, once you come down, you can always adjust and change, right? If the sensation tells you to do that, then that's what we'll do. So we have that set aside. So we'll want to also make sure we have our pillow or blocks. And you can even use this folded blanket. I've got blocks, so I'm going to use those. Come to lie down. We're going to come into a supported bridge pose now. So rolling down onto our backs with the feet on the floor, press into the feet to lift the hips and slide the prop beneath the sacrum. So that's the triangle bone between the muscles of the glutes, the buttocks. Make sure you don't have any ponytails or clips in the way. We'd like to have the back of our skull, the occiput, resting on the floor nicely. And then you can always take your feet a little wider, kind of let the knees fall in to support each other a bit here. Palms up, tucking the shoulders underneath us one at a time. A supported bridge pose. Feeling sensation. Allowing that sensation to be present. Because as we start to learn how to respond to our triggers with breath, once we've got that down, then we can actually access those triggers to learn something, to find our enlightenment. Right? This whole concept of waking up from a yoga practice, being an awake human being, enlightened human being, is having the calm and steadiness to go into our triggers, to find the light. And the breath is a good place to start. Track your breath with your mind. Track your breath with the mantra, So hum, I am. Feeling sensation, responding with breath. So hum. As we stay here longer, the sensations have an opportunity to change, to intensify, to soften. While the sensation might not be as steady, let the breath be. Even if the mind is struggling to be steady in this moment, let the breath be steady. And we'll take our final 3 breaths here. Deepening our breath. Finishing with the cleansing breath. Once that cleansing breath is complete, press the heels into the floor and engage the belly first. So give a little rock, a little tuck of the belly, and then lift the hips up. So we have a nice strong abdomen. We'll slide our props out from beneath us. Tuck that tailbone even more as we roll down to our backs. So having a pillow, some blocks in either hand, we're going to open the feet up, allow the knees to splay open to the side, and then tucking a little support if the body is asking for it, right? And the sensations will tell you. There's a sensation before I add the block, and that feels like a struggle. And then there's a sensation with the block, and that feels like I can breathe with it. Let's take our hands, interlace them right in front of the heart center, turn the palms away from us, and then reach the arms down towards the feet, palms out. As we inhale, lift those arms up and overhead. And as we exhale, lower the arms back to the front of the body. Elbows stay straight the whole time. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, hands back to the front body. And a few more of these. And keeping a little bit of effort in the belly, especially as we inhale the arms up. Feel the navel draw into the spine as an anchor. And then as we exhale, that navel helps to bring the arms back to the front body. 2 more. Last one. And when the exhale is complete, release the arms again. Draw that navel center towards the spine, towards the earth. Maybe the hands help. Draw the knees together. We're going to come into a twist now. With the feet on the floor, pick the hips up and scoot them over to the right a little bit, and then pick the knees up and let the knees twist over to the left. Open, let the right arm come into a cactus shape, and let the left hand simply rest on the rib cage here. The head can remain just as it is. If it feels good and you want to bring the twist into the head, pick the head up, turn the head towards the right, and then place the head back down again. Softening the body. And when it comes to yin poses, just the style of asana practice itself, we're always looking to find just enough effort, not any more than we need, just enough effort to hold the shape, and then a whole lot of softness. Let yourself sink into the shape. Let your bones sink into the shape of the pose. While you track your breath with your mind, so hum. Feeling sensation. Letting the bones sink into the sensation. Responding with breath. With each breath, so hum. And taking our final 3 breaths here. Deepening, stretching the breath. Our final breath, a cleansing one. After that cleansing breath, the first thing we'll do is bring our right hand back to the torso. Engage the navel center to spine. First lift that right knee up, and then let the left knee follow. Coming onto our backs, touch the feet down to the earth. We'll pick our hips up and scoot them a little bit to the left, a little past center to the left. Left arm now comes out into that cactus shape, picking the knees up and twisting the knees over to the right. Let the right hand simply rest on the rib cage. If we're bringing the twist into our neck, pick the head up first, then turn the head and lay it back down. Settling into the twist on this side. Noticing the sensations, not comparing them to the other side. This is my good side, this is my bad side. A yogic mind moves beyond good and bad. The yogic mind finds the breath first and lets that be its first response to life, to triggers, to discomfort. Practice that now. Allowing your bones to sink into the posture. Responding with breath. So hum. Using the mantra so hum to keep the practice together. Feeling sensation. Allowing bones to sink. So hum with each rhythmic breath. And taking our final 3 breaths on this side. Finishing with a cleansing breath. To come out of this, we'll first move that left hand, bring it back to the rib cage, turn the head to center, and then engaging navel to spine, lift the left leg first, let the right leg follow. And then tap the feet onto the floor to even out the hips, and then find some movement, some organic movement here on your back, rocking from side to side. Maybe circling through the hips. Maybe even rocking on the spine. Take a few more breaths, about 3 more breaths. Not looking for instruction from outside of yourself, but instead being guided by your own body. We'll let all of these movements take us over into the fetal position. Roll over onto one side and Keep rolling so that top hand presses us up to lift us. We'll need to set up our prop now for supported fish pose. So taking the blanket we've already folded and bringing it onto the mat, we're going to be resting our shoulder blades on here. So once we get that in place, come down and find the prop under the shoulder blades. Before you rest down, pick the hips up and roll towards the tops of the shoulders and the head. And the prop is just going to help to draw the shoulder blades down as the rib cage moves up and over. And then we can place the hips down. And this is when you'll find out whether the size of your blanket roll is high enough or low enough for you to access the practice. Arms can stretch out to a T. First place for the legs is to have keep the feet on the floor, take them nice and wide and let the knees support each other. Maybe the body feels good in the sensation where we can stretch the legs out. And I say good in sensation, and I don't mean completely comfortable, but I mean a place where even with the sensations present, we can still practice the responding with our breath. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. Let your bones sink into the shape. Scan through the body and notice how much of that sensation you're feeling is a gripping that's trying to hold the posture in one place. Use a breath and soften the grip in the body. Let the bones sink as you tune your mind to the breath. Allowing the breath to be a dance, a conversation between your mind and your body. With each breath, so hum, I am. Softening the grip so your bones can sink. Tracking the breath. So hum. Maybe you're softening with this shape. Maybe something's intensifying for you. Either way, hold the breath steady. Allow the mantra to help with that steadiness of breath. So hum. And taking our final 3 breaths here. Deepen and stretch these breaths. Our final breath, a cleansing one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. After that cleansing breath, first draw the navel center into the spine, and if the legs are extended out, draw the feet onto the floor one at a time. And then we're going to very gently roll over to one side, to the fetal position. And whichever hand is the top one, press it into the floor to lift yourself up right away. Prop yourself up just enough to slide that blanket out from underneath you. Come to lie down on your back to rest in Savasana. Now, you might like a little something under your head, a little something under your knees. So, if your body likes those things, then offer your body those supports. And as you do settle into Savasana, let the practice go, all parts of it. To rest in corpse pose is to have no effort with our physical body. No effort, no gripping, no holding to make it this way. Just let go. And now release the mind, release the breath. Rest in stillness. Rest in letting go. As you rest in the Shavasana, I'm going to play the tuning forks, another layer to soothe the nervous system. Becoming aware of your physical body. Become aware that you're lying on the earth in Savasana, corpse pose. Begin to remember the intention of this practice. Learning how to respond to sensations, to life, especially the uncomfortable parts, with breath. Allowing the breath to be our first response. And as you start to deepen your breath here, let that breath spread throughout the whole body. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Gently make larger movements with the whole body, slowly waking up. Moving as if you were waking up for the very first time. And all of your movements will eventually take you over to the fetal position. Come to curl up on either side. Use either your bottom arm or a prop as a pillow and rest here. Take a gentle cleansing breath. And then whichever hand is the top one, gently press it down into the earth and slowly peel yourself up. Allow the head to be the very last body part to lift. And we'll make our way into a tall seat again. Taking that seat on the floor with some cushion, taking that seat in a chair. And we're going to practice some alternate nostril breathing. So taking your right hand, and I'm not mirroring you, so make sure it's your own right hand. We're going to take our two peace fingers, pointer and middle, and bring them up to the third eye center. That's just between the eyebrows and a little bit above. Our thumb is going to come to the right nostril. The ring finger is on the left nostril. Pinky's just hanging out. Take your left hand in Gyan Mudra, thumb and pointer finger coming together, and that hand can rest up or down on the leg. You might also like to tuck that hand under the armpit. It can be supportive for the right shoulder. Tuck the chin just a little bit, but keep lifting the chest to meet the chin. Take an inhale through both nostrils. Open the mouth and let it go. And then close off the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale left nostril only. Once full, switch the fingers. Close the left nostril with the ring finger. Open the right side, exhaling. Inhale back through the right nostril. Once full, switch the fingers. Close the right side. Open the left side to exhale. That would be one round. Inhale left nostril. Once full, switch the fingers. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switching the fingers, exhale left. Inhale left. Switching fingers, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Switching, exhale right. Inhale right. Switching, exhale left. And keep going. Find your own perfect pace for this breath. And we're not trying to accomplish anything with this pranayama. So let that go in the mind. Instead, allow the mind to track the rhythm, the technique of moving fingers. Continue to lift up through the rib cage and spine as the chin softens down. Nerve cleansing breath. Allow your nerves to be cleansed, to be soothed, to be revived, to receive whatever it needs through this pranayama practice. The next time that you complete an exhale out the left side, we'll finish. Take your time. And when that does happen for you, release the hands down to the legs. And we'll settle right into shamatha meditation. There's really only 3 instructions for shamatha meditation. They are simple. And we need to be proactive the whole time to make sure we can follow these 3 simple instructions. The first is our posture, our physical body in which we've helped prepare through asana. Allow the jaw to relax. Set the gaze anywhere from 6 to 2 feet in front of you. Let your gaze settle on one spot. Sit tall through the spine. The second instruction is the breath. We simply watch it. We don't do anything to change it or move it in any specific pattern. We simply watch its natural rhythmic movement in and out of the body. And the third instruction is to notice when we begin thinking, when the mind wanders. Thinking is very much a part of a meditation practice. The practice, the real work comes in with this third instruction. And that's, without judgment, is to gently guide our attention back to the breath. That third piece, that's where the effort of meditation lies. Remembering these three instructions so we can remember to come back to the breath. Our most vital and valuable resource. The resource that we carry with us wherever we go on this planet. For the next few minutes, can that be enough? Release the practice. Lower chin to chest. And draw palms together once again in Anjali Mudra. Take a moment and offer yourself love and gratitude. Thank yourself for showing up to practice today. Every time we fine-tune ourselves on the mat, we fine-tune ourselves out in life. And it only takes a breath. Sending love and gratitude out to every single human being who is practicing right now, practicing a conscious living, and offering our love and gratitude to the yogis and sages of India, honoring the long, long lineage of these teachings, offering our gratitude for these teachings making their way into our life so that we may find our way back to our center. And for you, take from this class everything that serves you. and leave behind anything that does not. And may the work that we started today continue on for your highest good and healing. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. This part 2 of Expanding the Breath series. If there's ever any questions you have about practices we do in these classes or anything that's going on for you that you would like some assistance through these energetic practices to help process, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me through my website, irenedoherty.com. And these are donation-based classes. There's no advertising on this YouTube channel. So if you find value in this practice, I would be so grateful and so appreciative if you would offer some donation, either through my website or through Venmo. All the information is in the description. Share this video, like this video, subscribe, tell your friends and family about it. And let's all help to create a better world by taking life one breath at a time. Thank you so much.